All right. The Bible talks about how we are supposed to be understanding, seeking understanding, like, like pointing us to a deeper, like just searching things deep, really understanding it. This is especially because when we seek and we understand things, we get down to the root. And we get a better fundamental understanding of things. The body of Christ, a lot of the division is a result of a lack of that. We don't have enough of that. We oftentimes will look at something face value and be like, oh, that that's that, right? For example, the verse the verse cutting taking like cutting off an arm or like a leg or gouging the right eye that caused you to sin, right? Now, most of us would say, oh, like something at face value would be like, wow, that's pretty extreme. We're supposed to do that, right? But actually, I mean, I mean, many people know that it's metaphorical, it's prophetic of like, oh, this is actually this is actually like, hey, like if that's something, if that's like a stumbling block for you, if that leads you into sin, which then kind of, right, like we should stop doing that, right? Because we want to keep ourselves aligned with God, and so we're taking every measure in order to actually do that. But so 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 we had that same energy with with that verse, yet not with many other verses in the Bible. Think about it. What like, and I'm like, that's one area that we can be hypocrites in. We have that energy with that. Oh yeah, that doesn't mean that, whatever, there's like a, you know, right? But yet but yet for verses for things like tattoos, which if you look deeper in the text, like tattoos, like the reason why they like the God told the Israelites not to even do it was because they were worshiping other gods, or they were worshiping the dead. They were basically doing stuff that they were doing stuff that they weren't supposed to be doing with those tattoos. That tattoo those tattoos, those markings on skin, right, engravings on flesh, it was a stumbling block. So, but if that's not a stumbling block, then don't you think that that would be okay, right? And this very concept, right? Like this, you can, and then you can even tie it into having sex with your with somebody that's holy, that's godly, that God aligned for you to meet. So somebody that explored, like, that that followed, that was choosing to pursue Jesus, and then you guys met. You can, like engaging in sex and watching pornography, all these different things. You can't experience the life that God has for you in marriage unless you get rid of that stuff. But then once you do, once like that stuff isn't a stumbling block, once you've kind of like you've died to your you've done a necessary amount of cleansing for you to die to yourself, then now you're ready. So it's like how is it that we have that energy towards things that seemingly we can, like, that we are paying, that we are giving, like that we had the same type of energy to give into looking deeper into that. But when stuff, like, when it seems clear, like when it seems point blank value, we don't give that like other topics and different things the same type of energy, or the same type of like like understanding approach, because the Bible talks about that. So if something is no longer a stumbling block, and if it no longer leads you into sin and leads you away from holiness, then why can't you do it? Same thing with music. If we're using music to glorify the devil, well then maybe God's probably gonna God might have us like give it up. Maybe we should give that up, get ourselves right, and then go back to that when you're ready, when you're sanctified. But it's not so much as, oh, that thing is the problem. Like it's not so much, oh, that action is the problem. It's 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 who's doing the action is often the problem, right? For example, another example of this, right? If David was using that sling to go around and start killing people, God wouldn't be pleased with that, right? Because his intention is ill. But yet, when we are able, but then we see he used that for Goliath. So, if we would have a deeper understanding, like if we would always apply that same energy into everything, reading, reading it, having a deep understanding. Okay, the context, just having a deep understanding as to like kind of like what's going on behind it. We would then like we would start to find that a lot of like our beliefs and our things that we've set like aren't even right, and the body of Christ was its own enemy. You see how that works? It's like it's like it's like a knot, right? A string, a string, right? A rope. It's made to pull. Now, when there's a knot in it, or when there's a knot preventing you from doing what actually needs to be done, has to be undone. So in order for the body of Christ to be able to do what it's supposed to be doing, the knots and different things have to be undone. And then we can present ourselves. Now, I'm not saying that we can't present ourselves now, but like the very best version, the type of version that would be inspiring to the world of, yeah, like we don't always just go back and forth and try to win the debate. No, we understand like each other, but then we also understand like what's actually going on. We get to the root of it. Imagine if the world looked at that now. They would be blown away, because people are getting tired of just of the fighting, social media. People are tired of that. Imagine if they just now looked and like, oh, whoa, these guys over here, they've got something going on. And then that would even be a form of attraction, which Paul talks about making the gospel, Apostle Paul making the gospel look attractive. The way that we're living, the way that we handle things. It's a glow. There's a reason why the Bible calls us the light of the world. We're supposed to be a spectacle.